And so at 23 years old, I got offered the job as a general manager of a team in Gastonia, North Carolina. And the only reason you get offered a job as a GM at 23 is it's the worst team in the country. I mean, literally, I showed up, the team had been there for 7 years. There was $268 in the bank account, 200 fans coming to the games, and $150,000 the team had lost the year before. I couldn't pay myself for the first 3.5 months. And so every day I'm just hitting the phones and I'm like, I gotta figure out what we're gonna do.
Welcome to Teague Talks. I am super excited. Jesse Cole with us, founder, owner, entrepreneur extraordinaire, Savannah Bananas. So you may or may not have heard of Savannah Bananas. Minor league baseball team during the day. I'll let you do it better than I at Savannah. But this is not about baseball, right? This is about entrepreneurship, a story of leadership. You've said before, I'm going to spoil it, but the P.T. Barnum of our day, the Walt Disney of our day. I mean,
That's bold. That's bold.
There is energy here, and he is thinking on another level. So the stuff you have done just sold out. Help me, just sold out Tampa Bay Stadium.
Tampa Bay Bucks, Raymond James.
Tampa Bay Bucks, Raymond James. How many people?
65,000.
65,000 people to see a silly baseball game. Did I say that right?
Yeah, a silly baseball game.
Silly baseball game.
Well, no, it's I appreciate that, but yeah, it's actually a sport. It's banana ball, and so everything started by putting ourselves in our fans' shoes. And so we're just trying to create something that maybe fans didn't see. You know, you go where others won't go, and that's what we try to do in creating this, because we realized that many people thought baseball was too long, too slow, and too boring. And you could see what was happening. I mean, 10 million less fans watching baseball games, 600,000 less kids playing Little League baseball. It's a serious challenge right now. And there's attention spans, there's new entertainment that people are getting every single second at their fingertips. And we felt an opportunity to really give fans something that they would love. And as Walt Disney said, when he was sitting at Griffith Park watching his daughters, he had daddy-daughter date on Saturday with Diane and Sharon, and they were going around the carousel. And he said, I wish there was a place that adults and kids could have fun together. And I thought about this. I actually was sitting in the dugout, I was coaching, and I was 22 years old. And I said, I wish there was a game that, everyone could have fun at, and adults, kids, they could enjoy, and not just people that knew the game, people that just wanted to come out and have a fun time. And so that's what we've been trying to create over the last 20 years.
I'm going to get into who you are and how you started, but Banana Ball is this own thing that you started. So again, but it's not minor league.
No.
You've got your own league,
Yes.
your own rules.
Yes.
Give me a few crazy rules just to whet everyone's appetite.
Well, everything stems from, you start with what are the friction points in an experience for a customer. So I looked at the game of baseball and I said, all right, blowouts, those are brutal. So a game, team that scores 8 runs. No, what if we make every inning count for a point? So if you win the inning, you got a point. So literally every inning, the team can have a walk-off and celebrate. So we'll have walk-off home runs in the first inning.
So it doesn't matter if you score 8 runs or 0 or 1 run.
It's only worth 1 point. 1 point. And then the last inning, every run counts as a point. So if you're down 4-1, you still, the last inning, you have a chance to come back. So he said, all right, make every inning exciting. The next thing, I said, batter stepping out. So boring, all right? You take your time. I was like, no, if you step out, it's a strike, all right? And I said, mound visits, boring, no mound visits. I said, bunting sucks, all right? If you bunt, you're thrown out of the game. That's literally a rule. If you bunt, you're thrown out. Walks. Think about this. In athletic sport, there's a play called the walk. And so we said, no, we're going to call it the ball 4 sprint. After ball 4, the hitter has to go full speed out of the box. The catcher throws the ball to every player in the field, and then it's live. So you'll have plays at second. You'll have guys going for third. It's crazy. And then, of course, fans first. That's the name of our company. If a fan catches a foul ball, it's an out. And so you get your fans involved. We had in Miami playing at the Marlins Stadium, we had 7 fan caught foul balls for outs. And it just keeps the fans involved. There's other rules. We have a golden batter. You can put up any hitter at any point in the 9th inning. We have the showdown, one-on-one pitcher versus hitter instead of extra innings. There's different. You can steal first. Batters can steal first at any pass ball. So we looked at all the boring parts, the slow parts of baseball, try to make it fast. And then we put a 2-hour time limit. Every game in 2 hours. So when we created Banana Ball, the average baseball game is 3 hours and 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Think about that, 3 hours and 12 minutes. There's no one in the world that goes to a great movie or a great concert or a great comedy show and like, that was great. Yeah, I left in the middle. But in baseball games, people leave in the middle of the game. And I said, no, we got to create a 2-hour game so people will stay to the end and watch to the end. And so that was the origin of the 11 rules of Banana Ball.
So you doing that before Major Leagues did their pitch count?
So right now in the Hall of Fame, they have the original rules of Banana Ball, which I called Show Ball back then from 2018.
Hold on, you're in the Hall of Fame now?
We're fortunate. They put us in the Hall of Fame.
Unbelievable.
That was a funny call, by the way. They said we can't ignore the bananas anymore. We have to put you guys in the Hall of Fame. So it wasn't the exact verbiage I was picturing when getting the call from the Hall of Fame, but yeah, it was a call I'll never forget. And my top hat's there. The rules are there. A lot of the artifacts, the first yellow banana ball, are in the Hall of Fame. And I believe the reason we're there is because we've been fans first every step of the way. And it's not about money. It's not about driving revenue. It's not about driving sales. It's about creating fans. And that's the origin of every single thing that we've done. And it's been a wild journey from sleeping on an airbed 9 years ago to where we are now, but it's been worth it every step.
All right, so give me the journey. I mean, who the hell is Jesse Cole and how did you get here?
Well, I was an only child, grew up at south of Boston, fell in love with baseball. At first, I was a shy, introverted kid. My dad helped develop a love in baseball for me. So I played every day, had the dream of playing for the Red Sox, was fortunate, started getting scouts at my games in high school, started throwing 90 miles an hour. I got a full scholarship to go down to South Carolina. My dream was there. I remember getting Christmas cards from the Mets, the Padres, the Pirates, the Braves, and I was like, this is going to happen. And then my senior year, I tore my shoulder. My rotator cuff, my labrum, everything gone just like that. And I was actually, at the time, I was recording a documentary for my capstone project. And it was about leadership and coaching leadership. And I remember I turned the camera right on me because I found out I would never play the game again. And it was as emotional as I could get because it was right there, it was gone. And I had no idea what I was going to do. 20 years, that's all I had played. I poured my heart into that. That was it. And so, everyone thought I was going to go into coaching. And that's when I went into coaching. And I sat there in the dugout saying, I'm bored out of my mind. I know what's going to happen in this game. I know we're going to do a hit and run here. I know who's coming to pitch. I know the situation, and I'm bored. Imagine the fans that are sitting there watching a game and have no idea what's going on. So at that point, I said, well, what if I went to the front office? What if I tried to create a game that could be more fun? And so at 23 years old, I got offered the job as a general manager of a team in Gastonia, North Carolina. And the only reason you get offered a job as a GM at 23 is it's the worst team in the country. I mean, literally, I showed up. The team had been there for 7 years. There was $268 in the bank account, 200 fans coming to the games, and $150,000 the team had lost the year before. I couldn't pay myself for the first 3.5 months. Luckily, I saved a little bit of college. I had a full college scholarship. And so every day I'm just hitting the phones and I'm like, I gotta figure out what we're gonna do. So that's when I started reading about P.T. Barnum, Walt Disney, Cirque du Soleil, Saturday Night Live, Grateful Dead. I learned everything about the entertainment business because I realized that people didn't care about the baseball team. We were a college summer baseball team back then. So like perspective, there's Major League, there's AAA, there's AA, there's high A, there was rookie ball there was low A, there was independent ball, there was high level college baseball, and then there was college summer baseball. That's where we were. And so if you're trying to sell that, good luck. So I realized I had to sell something else. And similar to P.T. Barnum with his museum, he had to sell the things that made it different. It wasn't like any other museum. It was unique. He brought all these characters in together, these oddities, as he called them, and he highlighted them in a different way. I fired my mascot right away for steroid use, or I think it was bear growth hormone. I called it because it was a bear, BGH. I offered George Bush an internship with us. He didn't accept. His presidency was over, so I thought he'd consider it. He did not. We started doing everything: the Dig to China nights, the Grandma Beauty pageants, the Flatulence Fun nights. We did everything, but people started realizing that this wasn't just about baseball, and they started coming to see what are they going to do next. And so I realized we started grabbing a different fan, and it was a different story we were telling. And so that was 10 years of experimenting, trying, and testing before we got the opportunity to come to Savannah.
Yeah, the overnight success.
It was 10 years, no media, nothing. I mean, we went from 200 fans a game to over 2,000. We were fourth in the country in attendance, but we were still behind the radar.
Did we win?
We won 3 championships, so we won a little bit. People don't realize when you have fun, you play better.
Yeah.
It's a very simple thing, whether you're in sports or whether you're in business. If you're having fun, if you're enjoying what you do, you give more energy and you produce better. It's as simple as that. I've been in so many different cultures where if people aren't having fun, their performance is bad. And so we were having fun. The crowds were good. We were doing crazy things every night. You never knew what was going to happen. The players were having a good time, and we won. And that's something that I've kind of brought wherever I go. And that's why I said, even with the yellow tuxedo inspired by P.T. Barnum, is to give permission to people to have fun. Everyone talks about being professional. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I don't know a spouse in the world that's come home to their husband or their wife and said, honey, I met the most professional person today. They were just so professional. No, we get excited about memorable. We get excited about unique. We get excited about different and fun and positive. People that lift us up. And so I've always tried to be that and give permission for our people to have fun. And so, yeah, for 10 years did that in Gastonia. And then the real challenge, the real adversity hit when Emily and I took on the new venture in Savannah.
So I want to hear that. But you have a personality. You like we underestimate talent in a lot. You have a lot of energy and a lot of charisma, and you can motivate and drive and lead other people. I can see that already.
Well, thank you, but I didn't in first. See, what people don't realize is when you first start off and you do a little bit of everything, any entrepreneur, you do a little bit of everything. When I started, it was myself, it was my wife, it was Jared, who ended up becoming our president in Savannah. It was three of us. We did everything. I did the hiring, I did the concessions, we did the sponsorship, I did the operations, which I'm terrible at. Like putting up signs at our stadium could take me like an hour and a half to put up one sign, like bad at it. And every day I would come home and I'd be burnt out of my mind, just exhausted, just hit the bed and just done. And they're like, here we go again, doing everything. And so often we try to do that because we try to set the example. We're gonna do it all. But what I realized, and everyone says follow your passion or follow what you love, and I get it. Follow what gives you energy. Chase your energy. What I started realizing was there were certain things that gave me energy. It was when I was creating things, coming up with ideas, promotions. It was when I was sharing, on stage, speaking, talking to a team. It was when I was growing, learning from the P.T. Barnums and the Walt Disneys. And when I was doing any of that, I was on top of the world. And I could do it all day long. And I could do it for 12, 14 hours and come home and be the best person I could be. So what I realized is that I started doing more of what gives me energy and started hiring people that if finance is what gives them energy, do finance all day, my friend. If operations gives you energy, and we start asking, what's on your energy list? And that was a game changer. Because yes, you see me, you're like, oh, you got a lot of energy, you're extroverted. Like, no, not when I started. But now, right now, I'm sharing, I'm talking, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm creating. We're doing all of this right now. Of course I'm gonna have energy. When I'm at a ballpark and I'm with the fans and getting them going wild and throwing things out in the crowd and doing new promotions and watching the crowd go crazy. I'm on top of the world. I can do that every day of my life. And so it's find what gives you energy. And that was the game changer.
Yeah, that's well said. We say, in our world, say don't make math people do English and English people do math.
Yes.
Find your talent, lean into it, and become the best you can.
100%.
All right, so go back to Savannah. How'd you end up in Savannah?
So it was August 4th, 2014, that our director of fun, Emily McDonald at the time, I knew I was ready to propose to her. So I met her in the industry. Actually, I was giving a speech when I was 24 years old. She was working for Cal Ripken Baseball, a team in Augusta, and her boss was there, and I was talking about the grandma beauty pageants and all the craziness. Her boss left the conference, called Emily and said, I met the guy you're gonna marry. And Emily's like, what are you talking about, Amy? She's like, he's got the same energy, he's passionate, you just gotta call him. And she's like, I'm not gonna call him the guy I wanna marry. She's like, well, just call him about the grandma beauty pageant. Ask him how he does that. And so she reached out and we started talking. And nothing happened. And then a year later, I met her at a conference. We hit it off. We spent 3 days just together talking about our dreams for the industry and what we could do and passion. And so she joined us in Gastonia and she wanted to make a name for herself. So she's like, we can't tell anyone we're together. So we had to go a year. I wasn't allowed to have dinner with her out in public. She wanted to make sure that she could seen as not just, hey, the GM's girlfriend. And she went on like 6 boards, was killing it. So finally it was like, all right, Emily, I know this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. So it was our last game of the year, sold out crowd. And I had to get a surprise fireworks show off without letting her know, even though she handled all the permits. So there's like fire chiefs coming in that day and like, we're here with the fireworks. She's like, we don't have fireworks. And I'm like, stop, no, stop. And so finally it's the 6th inning and this was a blowout. So fans were starting to leave. So I had to move this up because again, we didn't have banana ball rules back then. So fans are starting to leave. And finally I go, I want to thank all our staff because our last game of the year on the field. And Emily's like, Jesse, I'm taking care of the popcorn. I got to get the fans. I go, Emily, can you please come to the pitch? She's like, Jesse, I need to take care of the fans. I was like, Emily, I need you on the field. So finally she comes out of the field and we get everyone. I'm thanking everyone. I said, last but not least, not many people know this, but Emily and I, we met here right here for the first time on this field in front of my baseball family, in front of your family, in front of our family. You make me the luckiest guy. And so I dropped down and I had the ring inside a baseball. And so I opened the ring, and as I'm asking her to marry me, there's fireworks going off all throughout the game. This is the middle of the game here. And so we've delayed the game like crazy. The umpires and the players are like, what is going on? What is happening? I'm like, this is our moment. We've worked for this. And she said yes. And that night, exhausted, fell asleep. And she planned a trip that night. She's like, you did this whole proposal, epic proposal. I want to plan a trip for you. So she planned a trip to Savannah, Georgia. So I woke up the next morning and she goes, the season was over. She goes, we're going to Savannah. I go, oh, I've never been. She's like, yep, we're going. So we went to Savannah. We had a beautiful night there. And I was like, there's a baseball stadium there and they've got a game. She goes, I knew you would. I got us tickets. We're good. I was like, okay, cool, thanks. So we go to the stadium and I walk in and you can feel the history. Babe Ruth played there, Hank Aaron, Lou Gehrig. It's a 100-year-old stadium. I walk in, 70-degree night, beautiful. Minor league team, the Mets playing. I walk in, and there was like 50 people. You could see like a tumbleweed going through. I was like, where is everybody? And it was just neglected. There was no care. So I immediately called the commissioner of our league, and I said, if this team ever leaves, I go, we're calling this market. He goes, yeah, sure, whatever you say. A week later, they said they're leaving. The city wouldn't build them a new stadium. They're gone. I immediately called the city, convinced them to give us a shot. And we go there, and so we got a 10-year lease. And
With no team.
No team. We're a brand new expansion team. So that's where I thought it was really smart in our first year of marriage to go into 7-figure debt. So I thought, all right, I thought if we could go into $1.8 million in debt, this would be the greatest way to set us up for success. We bought the team with debt, and we showed up, and the phone lines were cut, the internet lines were cut. The former team even put the tarp on the field to burn the field. They were upset. They didn't want a new team in there. They took everything. The whole stadium was abandoned. And so we grabbed a picnic table from the park and put it into a abandoned storage building and started calling everyone, started doing social media. But everyone was like, you're college summer baseball. You're the lowest. We had professional baseball. You're college summer baseball. We're not buying anything.
Wait, a college summer baseball expansion team costs $1.8 million?
No. It costs less than that, but we had to buy equipment. We had to put money into the stadium. We had to do a lot of things.
Yeah, you got to do the upgrade.
1.8 is where we got to when we started failing even more. We were getting laughed out of meetings. It was so bad. We sold 2 tickets in our first few months. And so it was January 15th, 2016, 4:45 p.m. that I got the phone call from Alex on our team. He said, we're missing payroll. We're out of money. And so that was when Emily said we had to sell our house. And that's when I poured the little, I had $25,000 in my retirement, I had nothing. I put that in to cover payroll, cover us next few weeks. And we had nothing. And we literally, we grocery shop, so we had $30 a week. And so when you think about that, that's 42 meals between the two of us. It wasn't real food. And so we actually took out, it was like $300 for 10 weeks. And we had it set each week, that's what we would grocery shop with. And that was it. And so this was 9 years ago. And so we realized that we hadn't earned any respect or love or support from the community. We were just talking. We were talking like everyone else. They hadn't experienced us. So first we had to create attention. So we couldn't be the generic team name that everyone else wanted us to be, or name us the Braves like everyone else, or the Sand Gnats. So we chose the Bananas. And that's when we got even more criticism. It was, I remember that one of the anchors just stared at the camera in disbelief, so upset. We got owners should be thrown out of town, embarrassment to the city, should be thrown out of the city, you'll never sell a ticket. It was great because a year later we did all a mean tweet video of all those, and most of them ended up buying tickets. But,
good for you.
Then we got attention. And we went out and we said, we also sold out a game. And they were like, what? But people didn't realize we somehow convinced the hospital just to buy 4,000 tickets for one game. We didn't tell them just one group bought them. But we went and said, hey, game sold out. They're like, we've never sold out. And I was like, I told you guys, we're different. And then we announced we sold out 5 game plans, but we only sold like 50 of them. But we said they're sold out. And so people were like, they're selling out. And then instead of 28 games, we made 22 because we turned double headers. Instead of having Mondays and Wednesdays, we made 22 so then we could have even more sellouts. So we started creating this demand and excitement saying, no one's giving us a shot, we're gonna create that. And so, the first night wearing green uniforms because we weren't quite ripe, we played terrible and fans watched the experience, and the players delivered roses to little girls and watched the Nanas dance and the Banana Baby and the Banana Band and the first banana. And they said, this is unlike anything we've ever seen. And from that moment on, tickets just started going like this.
What are the players thinking?
I hate the word training because I don't use training. I believe dogs are trained, humans are coached, taught, and mentored, educated. So, but at that point, I hadn't learned that yet. So we had training for the players of how to take the criticism of playing for a team called the Bananas and how to handle media. How does it feel to play for a team called the Bananas? At first, they were all like, what are we doing? But then we embraced it. We filmed the whole practice of them practicing with just bananas. So they're only playing catch with bananas. They're hitting bananas, everything. We did a whole practice like that. We did the Mighty Mighty Bananas instead of the Mighty Ducks. We did a whole thing.
Yeah, because you got to get buy-in from everybody.
So we started doing videos. We did the Can't Stop the Peeling music video. So we started doing all these videos. We had an intern videographer we started filming. And it started slowly getting buy-in. And then they were like, whoa, we're the only team selling out right now. Whoa, we sold out again. We sold out again. Something's going on here. Whoa, we're winning games. Whoa, our Can't Stop the Peeling music video's got over 1 million views right now. Something's happening. The Banana Nanas, their first video, got 500,000 views. Something's different. So they slowly started to believe in it. And fans started to believe in it. And started getting more people converting. And then we won the championship the first year. And it was crazy. That was the start of it. But we were still playing traditional baseball, and fans were still leaving games early. But that was the start, and that was back in 2016.
And I'm guessing you're now studying games. So now it's 10 years at the Grizzlies.
10 years
and now it's 1 year here.
Yeah.
And now we're going.
Well, now, and I actually started taking pictures and videotaping the crowd every night, 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:37, to see when fans were getting up, when they were leaving, how they were leaving early. We started realizing that fans were leaving around 9 o'clock, and games were around 3 hours. That's a problem. So then basically 2017, 2018, I started writing down ideas. And I started writing every day, ideas. And I said, well, what if we were to change the game of baseball? And I said, well, what if we did a small bet? And so we tested it behind closed doors in a college. My old Wofford coach was coaching at Lander. And we played 9 innings in 99 minutes. And the players said it was the most fun they've ever had playing a game. We did it behind closed doors. No one knew about it. It was special. I said, oh, this is something. So it took 2 years more until actually COVID that we played the first game in front of fans. And it was wild. So many things didn't work well, but we saw something special. So then we tested it again on a one city world tour. Yes, we called it a one city world tour. We went to Mobile, Alabama. We convinced them to give us a shot. And we sold 7,000 tickets, 3,500 each night. And the fans stayed and they watched. And we said, we have something here. And then it's like, okay, you got something. 7 cities the next year, 33 cities the next year, major league stadiums, football stadiums. You just keep expanding, adding new
And now
teams.
we're doing Banana Ball.
Well, yeah, Banana Ball, we went all in. We had to disrupt the business we were in.
Yeah.
So we were in a Coastal Plain League college summer baseball where you can't pay the players because it's an NCAA violation. So 0 expenses to players. Said, all right, let's get rid of this model. Very smart financially, but we're here. We're at this level. Get rid of it to now go professional. Pay the players a lot. Take care of travel, which is crazy, the travel costs, and go all in. And we said, well, don't just think of your current fans, but think of who are your future fans. We started obsessing over who our future fans could be. And they weren't just our current fans. And we knew we were going to upset some of our current fans. We had a lot of pushback. Our traditional baseball fans, I mean, there's little pictures of me. They put me behind bars. And they said, Jesse Cole needs to be put in jail. Like tons of that, which luckily I'm getting a thicker skin because I see a lot more of it now. But it was tons of criticism. And the way to look at it is if you're not getting criticized, you're playing it too safe. And people were passionate about what we're doing. I'd rather have passion than apathy, and they were passionate about it. So yeah, we went all in. And in 2022, we left the Coastal Plain League. We said we're going all in Banana Ball. We formed 2 official teams, the Bananas Party Animals. And then we launched another team and then another team. And now we're launching the league in 2026.
A full league. So right now, give me the teams.
Bananas, the Party Animals, the Firefighters, and the Texas Tailgaters. And then we have 2 more we're about to announce in October.
And they're going to play each other, and that's a league.
Yeah, so right now we have 4 teams playing each other, yeah. And every team has a distinct brand. So the Party Animals are the greatest party in sports. So they've got a party down band, they've got official bartenders instead of water. You know, they're doing flair bartending. They've got the party crashers, the party starters. They got Farty, the gassiest mascot in sports, who actually farts and smells like cupcakes. That's a whole nother story. So that's the Party Animals. Then you have the Firefighters, and they are the hottest team in sports. And so we have actually a firefighter coach, firefighter players. They've got the mustaches. They come in on fire trucks. They go with ladders. They hose people down. It's wild. Then you got the Texas Tailgaters, which is the greatest pregame in sports. So you better believe, just imagine everything they launched this year. Imagine everything you think about the best tailgate in the world. That's going to be happening all day with the Tailgaters. And then we have 2 more teams that are going to have very distinct brands. It's very similar to Circus Soleil.
Thank you.
You're creating brands that people will love. And so Circus Soleil, you know, they started with a basic circus and then they kept going. And they started involving music and the Beatles and MJ. And then they started doing water with Cod. They started doing these crazy, and they kept building these brands. We want to build brands that people can relate to. And so that's what we're doing while having the competitiveness of the league.
So keep talking about, give me, mentioned Cirque du Soleil. Give me your other influence.
Grateful Dead, unbelievable.
Why?
Well, Grateful Dead cared more about their fans than anybody. So what Grateful Dead is, when they went on the road, they actually gave permission to their fans to actually record them playing music. And they wanted to spread it. Where everyone said don't record because they wanted to make their money from records, Grateful Dead wanted to create fans. So they actually set up a whole section where they could record their own music. They also took control of tickets. So where Ticketmaster owned anything, they started doing, you could write in and actually get tickets and you could build a relationship with them. So they started controlling a lot of the tickets. They invested in the Great Wall of Sound. So they actually would travel all around the country with their own sound because their sound, they wanted it better than what every other stadium had. They were obsessed with the experience. Deadheads actually sell their own merchandise and sell their own things. They wanted people to follow them around and be all into it. And that's what's happened. And now, 30 years after Jerry Garcia is dead, they're still selling out with Dead and Company. Dave Matthews, who I'm a big fan of, they followed them. They said they can record all the music and share it and spread it. So that was huge from them. Saturday Night Live, another huge inspiration. Every single week they do a completely new show with a new host, with different casts playing different roles. It's a completely new show. So where most people would say we took inspiration from the Globetrotters, I have so much respect and admiration for the Globetrotters, but we're completely different. The Globetrotters do the same show every single day. They have 8 shows a week. They have multiple tours. Here comes the confetti. Here comes the slow motion. Here comes it's the same show the Globetrotters win. Saturday Night Live, every week they start from scratch. Every week we start over. Monday we travel in. Tuesday we actually get together. We're on Saturday Night Live on a Monday. They get with their host and they pitch ideas. On Tuesday we have our OTT sessions, which is our idea sessions over the top. We have OTT with the party animals, OTT with the bananas. We have OTT with our entertainment team. We bring ideas. Then we have a table read, just like Saturday Night Live. We put all these ideas. Then we start doing rehearsals. Then we start building out the dances. You start bringing out the props, everything that goes into it. Then we actually do live rehearsals at the stadium. Then we do live rehearsals in front of our VIB guests. Just like Saturday Night Live at 8 o'clock on a Saturday, they do the full show in front of them, and Lorne Michaels and crew will cut some of the ones that don't hit. We follow the same thing, except we're doing 3 shows. We're doing 3 shows a week.
No show's the same.
Every show's completely different.
Different.
We do 10 to 15 new things every single night. Every single night.
How many nights are we playing?
So we'll have 100 plus nights in a year. So we're doing about 1,500 new things every year. And that's not including the new trick plays. It's unbelievable, the attention to detail. And that's not actually including, so we have a pre-show. So our gates open at 2 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game. We have a before the peel show where there's new things done there. Then at 5:30 from 7, we have 52 things that happen before the game. There's new promos in there. Then we have a brand new promo during the game. We have new entrances, new scoring celebrations, new strikeout celebrations, new things in the crowd all night. And then afterwards, we do new songs and the set list to the post-game plaza party every single night. It's an obsession.
I mean, this is unbelievable. How big is the team? How big is the staff? Not the players. How big is the staff?
I mean, we're growing. That's a hard question to answer because
Sure.
we travel with 200 plus people on the road. So to give you an example, the Globetrotters travel with 30. We travel with 220 to the last NFL stadium. It's completely unscalable in the sense that each person we travel with costs $35,000 just on travel. So just their hotel, their food, and airfare. So you think about that, it's creeping up on that $10 million in just travel expenses.
So go to the numbers. How are you paying for all that?
Well, our model is dramatically different. So you look at sports, most leagues, they get 40 to 50% of their revenue from TV rights.
Right.
We have 1% from TV rights.
Oops.
Most get about 10, 20% from sponsorship. We have 1% from sponsorship. We get our revenue from our fans. Our fans support us. You probably hear about a golf tournament. They might have to cancel because they lost their sponsor.
Yes.
Then your golf event is not good enough. Make your event so good that your fans want to come to it. If we need to rely on sponsors and TV money to make sure our business is sustainable, our business is not good enough to be sustainable. So we are obsessed with making sure our experience is so good that our fans will pay for it day in and day out. And not only pay for the tickets, they'll want to wear merchandise proudly all over town every day. And so, 95% of our revenue comes from tickets and merchandise.
So my obvious question is why not take sponsorship and why not take TV revenue?
Now, there's a point where TV will be interesting if they work on our terms. Sponsorship, what does a sponsor want? They want to extract value from your fans. It's different, okay? You go to a stadium, there's ads everywhere, there's announcements, there's giveaways, they're passing out things. I'm not taking anything away from it. For minor league baseball and sports teams, it is a huge form of their revenue. I want our fans to come out and never be sold to. I want them to come out and everything that's done that night is just for their enjoyment. And if you want to create a fan for life, you've got to do just that. So we have a few partners. We have Body Armor, we have Louisville Slugger and Evo Shield and Wilson that take care of our players. And that's great. And we have Dunkin', which gives away free donuts and free drinks, and we have appearances because our fans love that. And so at some point, if a partner comes to us and says, we want to do something that your fans will love, we're all ears. But if they want to do something just to try to create more business for themselves, it's probably not a good fit. And TV rights, what do you want to do? You want to tell your fans to go to some paywall that they may not have to watch the game to get more ads. Okay? So we were one of the first teams ever that we made non-exclusive deals starting last year. ESPN, TNT, True TV, non-exclusive.
What does that mean?
All of our games are free on YouTube. Plus they can also be aired on ESPN, True TV. And they broke their mold and said yes, because they wanted to put them out. And so every single game you can watch on our YouTube for free, whenever. And we make pennies on that.
Yeah.
Pennies. But what's creating more fans? And so when your lens on everything is, will it create fans? It makes the decisions very easy. It was the 1980 Great Britain rowing team that they were in the Olympics. 8 years before that, they were not even a contender. They were not even close. And then they got together and they said, all that we're going to think about every day is, will it make the boat go faster? everything that we talk about, every decision we make, every guiding light that we have is, will it make the boat go faster? Well, they won the gold medal. My point is, what is that question? For us, it's, is it fans first, and will it create fans? And if anything that goes against that question, that maybe would drive millions of dollars of revenue, drive more profits, more success or whatever, it's still an immediate no, because it won't create fans.
How much is a ticket?
$40 to $60, with no ticket fees, no convenient fees, no service fees, and we pay your taxes. Our CFO thinks we're crazy. We pay millions of dollars of our fans' taxes. Literally. So you go on our website right now, you want to buy a $30 shirt.
Yeah.
It's $30. You want it shipped? It's $30. What about taxes? No. Because I think a $30 shirt should be $30. We pay millions in shipping. We pay millions in taxes. But again, it's that transparency that I believe creates fans. Could we do it and maybe no one would blink an eye? Yes, but every day we would slowly deteriorate in our way of creating fans. And slowly we become like everyone else. And that's the slow fall that you would have of a great brand. And I don't want that to happen.
I mean, it's a terrible business model. So what's next? Keep going. What's next? I mean, I'm fascinated right now. I really am. What's next?
I think a lot of people, what they do is they look at a chessboard and they look at what the next moves are. And I'm focused on seeing the whole chessboard. If you zoom out and see the whole chessboard and see what we're trying to create, we're creating a sport.
Amen.
And so, I believe I have a 6-year-old son. Every day he goes outside and he does trick plays. Because our players, we're averaging more than 20 trick plays a game. Our players do backflip catches, aerial catches, through the legs. They're catching balls behind the back. It's unbelievable. And 5 years ago, this didn't exist. And they're doing it. Maverick goes out and he's just flipping balls to himself and catching them behind his back. And it's unbelievable. And I see a world that in 5-10 years, the first ball a kid picks up is a yellow banana ball. And it's because of the fun. It's because it's not just the game that their grandparents played. It's the game that they look up to their new idols. You think about this. You ask a 10-year-old or 12-year-old kid to name a Major League Baseball player right now. It's hard. You might have Ohtani, you might have Bryce Harper. But I believe in 5-10 years, they're going to be saying KJ Jackson and Coach Rack and Jackson Olsen and Ryan Cox and Tanner Thomas. And I believe they're going to be saying a lot of our players' names, who now our players have millions of followers because they're showing the fun that they have. And literally, my son puts the eye black like his favorite player, KJ. He does the walk-ups like all of our guys. This is what I used to do when I was a kid. I would turn my hat around like in Ken Griffey Jr. I would do the Hideo Nomo wind-up. I would do Phil Plantier. I would get down low with the Red Sox. But now people are on social media and they're seeing the way that entertainment is. And so I believe there's a world where you have to really embody that and own it. And we get so much criticism from traditionalists who say, you're ruining the game, too much dancing, too much all that. I'm like, that's fine. It's not for you. You need to know who are you not for. We're not for the baseball traditionalists. But I'll tell you, for the mom, the kids, the young family, the people that just want to go and have fun, come on, we're all for you, man. Come on in, join it. And so when you have you have clarity on who you're for and who you're not for, it makes decisions very easy.
I love this. Tell me there's a theme park in the Bananas future. It's a joke, but the Walt Disney portion of you.
Yeah, so you look at what are the next steps, and yeah, I think there's building the league, there's building Banana Ball Youth, and then there's building Banana Land. Because yeah, you got to think, and then how would you think about a theme park in a dramatically different way? How would you think about sports? So right now, if you wanted to go hang out with the Yankees, if you wanted to go hang out with the Lakers, you might get a tour of their stadium.
Yeah.
There's more than that.
And not the players, it's a separation.
You just get a tour. There's an immersive experience that can be created. There's something that people have never seen or experienced before. It's picture Disney World in sports. And if you own all the IP, all the teams, all the players, all the characters, all the cast, all the music, all the entertainment, it's a theme park that I would love to be a part of.
I think I'd be a part of anything you put your brain to and energy to. I'd be like, I'll go there.
We have, and this isn't me just saying no, we have failed. Our first shipment of t-shirts, we misspelled bananas. Our first, no joke, our first night of all you can eat, it was a 3-hour wait. We went through 10,000 pieces of meat. Our first ticket launch, the system failed. Our first merchandise 24-hour launch, it failed. Our first time on the road, literally the sound system failed. It was a disaster in Mobile. The first Major League Stadium, our ticket system got hijacked and we had open seating, that was a failure. Our first game on ESPN this last year, the transmission went out and the ESPN SportsCenter anchors went to us and said, guess the Bananas can't handle us. We have failed every step of the way. But that is the reason why we succeed, because we're not afraid to do something that's out of our comfort zone that we've never done before and get to that next at bat. And so people don't remember the failures.
Yeah, right.
How many people remember we failed on ESPN? No, because we're going to have another game on ESPN and then another. And we'll eventually get it. But we're going to do it in-house. We're not going to outsource our core thing for our fans. So we broadcast all our games ourselves. Costs us millions of dollars.
Sure it does.
It's ridiculous. We have no idea what we're doing, but we're learning every day. And if you play the long game, you're willing to invest in that because it's best for your fans. Our merchandise, we've had to buy warehouses, figure out how to do that. I mean, us operating equipment, we have no idea what we're doing. And we ship everything with a custom yellow box, with yellow tissue, with a letter, with, again, we put everything into it. We do it ourselves.
So just humor me. Why not outsource? Why not outsource? Somebody does that, I don't know, merchandise really, really, really well. Why not just outsource that?
You'll become like everyone else. Think about this. If you outsource to anyone else, they are already doing it for someone else.
Right.
So you are already a cog in their system. How do you become the most important? You have to do it yourself. And so we get people buy merchandise from us and they say we're the biggest Dustin Baber fan. You better believe Dustin signs their receipt form and sends it back to them. You better believe when someone buys a book from me, if I see that they are a big fan, I'm going to do something. That can't be done when it's outsourced. There's a different level of care. Yeah. The care factor, when it's in your ethos, in your system, and every day we talk about our fans first way and our fans first principles, we will take the time to be messy in the beginning and to struggle and do the challenges because it's worth it in the end because of the value of creating that fan for life.
I'm getting your lessons. You probably have more, or the E's you just talked about. But don't be afraid to fail. One, clearly you're into the details of everything. Like writing a thank you note, or as you just suggested, like that's details. Yeah. So if you're worried about all the details. So what else? Give me your other business acumens.
Everything starts for us by putting ourselves in our fans' shoes. I think not many people map the journey of their customer. And so you think about this. What are the friction points? What are the boring points of anything, any experience? And so we think about parking, walking up, boredom, concessions, standing in line, sitting in a seat that's far away. So like at Raymond James Stadium, you're at a football stadium, 65,000 fans. We spoke to our whole team up in the upper deck. And I said, we are going to win this upper deck. I go, our fans deserve it. And we are going to win this upper deck. And here's how we're going to do it. We're going to make sure the man in is up here. Our cast is up here. We're going to be delivering roses up here. We're going to have t-shirts up here. We're going to have beads up here. We are going to be doing selfies up here. We are going to be up here so they feel like they're in front of row. That's attention to detail. And I still know we have a ways to go. I still know some fans, we heard them, they didn't have a great experience up there. We got more work to do. So if I got to bring more cast, do more that's unscalable to do it, then we will. Because that fan for life is worth it. Most people, when they start, they say, how can we grow our business? How can we drive revenue? How can we drive sales? And change the question and say, how can we drive fans? If you drive fans, fans will be there for you, even when you mess up. They'll give you another chance because you have earned that by showing up repeatedly over and over and over again for them. And then do people know what you stand for? Everyone might have core beliefs, but do they have principles that literally everybody knows what you stand for? We share these publicly. Every Tuesday in our staff chat, our group recites them a different way. We've had presentations, we've had them in Spanish, we've had full dances, we've had everything, and they share them. And so that's, everything starts fans first, then entertain always, you play the long game, whatever's normal, do the exact opposite. Ideas are everything. These are things that we think about constantly. We're relentlessly resourceful. We will always plus the experience. So that's a thing from Walt Disney. We never settle with the way the experience was. We will always ask our question, how do we plus it? After every game, we get together as a staff. We go through our LCP. What do we learn? What do we change? What will we plus? And we talk and we said, all right, we learned this on this promotion. We got to change this. Oh, we can plus this. Add this moment to this and add this button. That's going to make it better. It's an obsession with continual improvement. And it sounds exhausting.
Yes.
But if you love it, if it gives you energy, then it's unstoppable. And I think we've built a team of people who we never settle. Fine is the F-bomb in our experience. Yeah. If you say something's fine, say, no, that ain't going to happen. Fine is the F-bomb of our experience. So we say, no, how are we going to make it excellent? How are we going to make it unforgettable? And I don't know, it's crazy. But if you ask any of the greatest entrepreneurs, you ask the Bezos, you ask the Brian Chesky with Airbnbs, you ask Jensen with NVIDIA, they're an obsession with the detail. I mean, Steve Jobs spent so much time on the boxes for Apple, and people don't throw out their boxes. They keep their boxes for their iPhone and their MacBooks and their iPads because of the attention to the detail. It's exactly what Walt Disney said when he built the Main Street. He said, no, we could do it cheap, but we're going to do it at the highest level. And they spent more money than ever because he said, I'll know. Maybe our guests won't know, but I'll know. And that sets the tone with everyone in your organization. If you're not going to cut corners, neither should anyone else.
When are you going to run out of passion?
When I stop doing what I love, what gives me energy. So when I if I ever felt like it was enough. So I'm always intrigued on what's next.
Yeah.
I mean, I never thought we'd do major league stadiums. I never thought we'd do an NFL stadium. I never thought we'd do 80,000 people. You better believe I think we'll do bigger venues. I think we'll do some things that people never imagined before. That excites me because it's hard. And I think the greatest leaders like to do things that are hard. Because when it's easy, whenever I find something easy, I believe that's when I need to work harder. A senior quote was, the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yeah.
And I find that, the more we work at something, the more the opportunities start coming to us. That it's like, I never imagined we'd be doing NFL stadiums. I never imagined that. I never imagined some of these new opportunities and international. And we sold out a cruise ship. We took our fans on a cruise ship. That makes no sense.
Tell me we didn't play baseball.
We did 5 days with no baseball.
Okay, good.
But think about that.
Yeah.
We do 5, 6, 7 hours of entertainment. Now we got to figure out 5 days
Of entertainment.
What a challenge. And so we actually wrote like a Broadway type theater show. And I'll never forget the first night, it was off, it just didn't work. So I'm sitting there with our director of entertainment, I was like, we got to change this to an hour. The next night, we put all new original songs, original dances, an hour. The crowd gave a 5-minute standing ovation. And I sat there and I said, look at what we just did. And so when I see that, it's like, if we can do this on a ship, why can't we do this with Banana Land? Why can't we do this on a beach? Why can't we do this anywhere? And so it's constraints foster creativity. What are those constraints that you can force yourself? What are those force functions you can give? All right, we're going to entertain 2,500, 3,000 fans on a ship for 5 days with no banana ball. The one thing that we do, we're not going to do it. How can we entertain them? Or hey, what are we going to do out in front of a football stadium for 4 hours as fans wait out before coming into the gates? How can we make sure it's a great experience? Push those constraints. I think often we try to find how to do things easier. Sometimes the best thing is to find what is a new constraint that can force you to get more creative to deliver a better experience.
I mean, this is phenomenal. Listen, I'm coming to Banana Land. Right? I cannot wait. I will be the first guy in line. Banana Land.
No, you won't. Don't do that.
Right.
No, you won't. That's way too early.
Well, and I'm way down on the list of fans. How many on the waiting list right now?
It's 3.1 million.
Jeez, and how many on the social media fans?
20, 25 million.
Yeah. So. Crazy.
Because again, another thing, we started just posting every day. We didn't know what to post. No one knows what they do until they do it the first time. We had no idea what we were doing. It was 2020. I told our team, hey, let's just post on TikTok every day. They go, what are we going to post? I go, I don't know. We make baseball fun. Show our players doing something, having fun. First, we posted one of our team members doing the Cupid shuffle in a Cupid costume. Got like 12 views. Next one, 10 views, nothing. But by the 10th one, we started getting more views. And we started learning faster than anyone else. And now do you look, the Bananas have 9 million plus on TikTok. The Party Animals have 2.5 million, more than any major league team on TikTok. We weren't afraid to start putting ourselves out there and learning faster. It's whoever learns the fastest wins.
Yeah.
And so the only way you do that is if you're actually not afraid of failing and trying things when people might criticize you. And so the same thing for me. I started sharing on LinkedIn 8 years ago with no one paying attention. I just wrote every day something I'm learning in the journey. And now I've built a great following, but it's helped me be a better leader because I'm just putting myself out there and I'm getting feedback and I'm learning. So the people that hold back and don't put themselves out there, they don't learn fast enough.
What do you want to leave behind? What do you think your legacy will be?
Funny when you say, what do you want to leave behind? Like all my idea books. I've written idea books for many years, but no, that's obviously not the real answer. I was 31 years old. I wrote my first book, Find Your Yellow Tux. And I finished the last chapter with How Will You Be Remembered? And I actually wrote my obituary, which at 31 years old was very tough to write. And it's amazing because 10 plus years later, it's changed dramatically. I had my wife, but I didn't have our 3 kids. We weren't foster parents. We hadn't adopted our girls, and I hadn't experienced the world. But, I thought about that because I thought about how will you be remembered? And I think it's a lot of people when they're younger, they think about certain things, the things they own, the money, the properties, all that. That has no meaning to me at all. And I've said this before, and I believe it. I don't want to be a $1 billion brand. I want to create 1 billion fans. And the only way you create 1 billion fans is how you make people feel. So when I think about how I want to be remembered, I want to be remembered for the joy, the fun, and my kids, my wife, being truly present. I think it's something that often these days it's hard to do. But I know every night when in the 8th inning, when we turn the lights off, we have everyone put off their flashlights, their phones. And we say, look at the stars, look how they shine for you. And it was all yellow. And I look around, and for those moments, I get lost. I get lost in a moment that feel like I truly belong, like I'm truly a part of something, that we've brought people together to feel something truly special. And so, when I look ahead, hopefully 50, 60 plus years, I hope that people are coming together. They're celebrating with yellow, they're celebrating with Hey Baby, and they're thinking about the joy of being together. And I hope my kids, every day, they walk through every door and they say, bring the joy, bring the fun, and bring the energy. And if that can spread to my kids, to the people I work with, to the people I love, to maybe 1 billion fans, that'd be a legacy I'm pretty proud of.
Amen. You'll get there. Yeah, your story is unbelievable. You're going to do great stuff.
Well, thank you.
You already have. Stop and pinch yourself.
It's crazy. I believe we're still in the first inning.
I bet you do.
And that excites me. I think as soon as you feel like you're done, you are. And so when you feel like you're still in the first inning, it's been a heck of a first inning, but we're still there. And we're still coming up to bat. And we got a lot to get done. And I can't wait for those next few innings.
How old are you?
41.
Yeah, you got it. This is, but amazing how much you've done. Emily.
Yeah.
And 3 kids.
Yeah.
2 foster kids.
Yeah, they've now been adopted.
Tell me about that.
Well, Emily's the heart of everything we do. She's the heart of our organization. She's the heart of our family. During COVID in 2020, we had our 2-year-old son, our biological son, Maverick. And to give you an idea about Emily, I'm going to tell an emotional story because this gives you an idea of her. It was, we were having our son Maverick and we were in the delivery room. And so everything was going fine. We were good to go. But then all of a sudden you start hearing this beeping. It starts beeping louder and louder. And things started slowing down for me. I'm standing there by her side and I watch not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people come into the room. In my head, I'm like, this is not good. And they start moving her around. Throwing her around, moving around, like unbelievably physical. I'm like, what is going on? And then all of a sudden I hear priority one. And at that point, they start wheeling Emily out. And Emily turns to one of the nurses and says, take care of him. And as she's going through that, she turns to me and says, take care of him. I realized Mavericks, we didn't know we were having a boy or a girl. So, but the heart rate was below 40. And basically a priority 1 means you have 7 minutes to get the baby out or the baby won't survive. So they wheeled her out. The nurse starts getting me in scrubs. I put him on backwards. I had no idea what I was doing. And she says, we need to run. So Emily's already gone. We start running to the operating room. And we get there, and again, it slowed down for me. I counted 16 people in there. So finally, Emily's pinned down, and within seconds, I hear crying, and they say, would you like to meet your baby boy? And at that moment, Emily was still out of it. She didn't know. And so for the next 2 hours, I held Maverick. And Emily found out, obviously later that she was okay. He was okay. She wasn't know if she was going to make it. It was one of those crazy moments. They got him out just in the nick of time. That was how we had our son, Maverick. And so the idea of us having another kid based on what happened and the challenges was not up there. And so Emily started doing a lot more research and finding out what's going on in the foster world. And I remember in 2020, you're battling COVID. We don't know how our business is doing. We got our 2-year-old son. It's chaos. And she goes, Jesse, I want to take you to a class about foster care. I'm reading all about this. So we go to a class, and I learned that there's 400,000 kids in the U.S. who don't have a permanent home. She goes, Jesse, we have to do something. I go, what do we do? She's like, we got to start. I go, it's COVID. What do we got to do? And she goes, well, I read the book, Everything is Figureoutable by Marie Forleo. She's like, let's just figure it out. So we start doing online classes every day and finally get licensed. And it isn't until January that we get a call and they say, we have this young 2.5-year-old girl. She joins us. She's nonverbal at 2.5. She's got gashes all over her body. She's petrified of the dark, petrified of the bath, petrified of books. Our 2.5-year-old son, Maverick, says she can stay with me. He was trying to, but she couldn't. She had to sleep on me that whole first night. And Kenna joined us, challenging situation. After 2 years, we were able to adopt her. And in between that time, we were going on a date night. I'll never forget. It always happens on date nights. We're going on a date night and we get a call and there's a baby 6 days old in the NICU that has every drug in her body, from heroin to coke to everything. And so we went there, we took her in, And she's been amazing. In May of that year, her birth mother sent Emily a message on Mother's Day and said, I remember we were flying. It was on our world tour. We were in Kansas City. It was after one of our biggest games. ESPN was with us, Banana Land. I'm sitting with Maverick and Kenna, and she's up there with Addie, and she turns between the seats and tears flooding down her face. And I go, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? She hands me her phone, and I see it's from Addison's mother. And it said, I can't imagine a better Mother's Day gift than to give you Addison so you can be a mom that she deserves. So it was that moment, that the maturity of her birth mom to say, I can't take care of her the way you guys can. And so after about a year of that, on the same day, in 2024, we adopted our 2 girls. They became an official, permanent part of our family. And we still foster care. We still do foster, on weekends and have kids come into our home and take care of them and all of our kids. But we realized that there was a bigger vision if we showed that we could do it with our crazy life and traveling around the country, that how could we inspire others to do it? And so we came up with the idea for a nonprofit, and we said, every nonprofit in the world, the normal way of doing it is you talk about all the problems. We said, what if we just celebrate the heroes? And so we said, what if in every city we go to, we find foster families that have fostered 200 kids, 50 kids, that have adopted 5 kids, that have done these amazing things, and no one's ever recognized them. We're gonna recognize them in front of a sold out crowd. And I had this vision, I could picture it. We tell their story, and then the whole stadium stands up and gives a standing ovation. Our players rush to them, they give them flowers, a big hug, and we're just gonna celebrate them every night. And because of that, more families are gonna wanna be.
Amen.
We started that a year and a half ago. We've had hundreds of families join. We've honored hundreds of families. And now Bananas Foster is the feature foster family of all of Banana Ball. Every single game we play, every stadium we play, we honor a foster family. It's been pretty special.
I don't know how to say this right. You're going to solve the foster issue. You're going to have a waiting list for.
Well, that's exactly. So when we first sold 2 tickets, no one ever thought we could sell out a game. And now to have a wait list over 3.1 million of people that want to come to see Bananas games. I have a dream that whether it take 10, 20, 30, 50 years, there will be a wait list in this country of families wanting to be foster families. If we do that, I'll feel pretty proud.
Unbelievable.
It's been a journey.
Let me know how I can help. I can't wait to follow your journey. Jesse, this is fantastic. Thank you for being here. I love it. Jesse, fantastic. Thank you.